So for this video, I wanted to talk about the voices in our head. Not everyone has them. Actually, I'm pretty sure everyone has them. So when we communicate, no matter what we're doing, when we're doing things, a lot of the time there is a voice constantly talking to us in our head. And more often than not, it's not nice. Why did you say that? You sound so stupid. Gosh, nobody's going to listen to you because your voice doesn't carry, and that's nothing you can do about that. You just suck as a communicator. Why on earth do you think they care? Nobody cares about what you have to say. And so on and so forth. Why did you choose this word? Gosh, that was horrific grammar. No one's going to listen to you there. You're a nobody. You are just a low-level employee. Why on earth do you think your idea is going to be listened to the boss? On and on it goes. And the more I listen to it, the more stressed out I get. And this really came to bear when I sang. You sound weird. You don't know where to put your vowels. Your voice just wavered. That was the wrong note. What word was that? No one's going to understand it. It can be a real tyrant. It can be a real jackass. And most of us just want it to go away. And most of us also believe it. Now think about the things that your voice in your head is saying for a second, though. I want to offer you an opportunity to step back and analyze it. Everything that your voice in your head has to say, or at least everything in my voice in my head has to say, is absolute garbage. I mean, yeah, sure, it might be accurate, but it's garbage. I would not keep a friend around if they talked to me like that. I certainly would never talk to a friend like that. But we listen to it all the time, and we let it go on and on and on. And a lot of the time, we don't even know it. We think that's us. We think that that little voice inside our head is totally us. It's just reality. That's who we are. I'd like to turn the tables on that thought. Yes, the voice is part of you, right? There's no one external saying things. The universe is not leaning into your ear and whispering. There's not a fairy or a demon or an angel on your shoulder that's constantly talking to you. But at the same time, it's not helpful. And spending a decade learning how to use my voice properly, and then spending several years outside of college and active voice training, just coming to grips with various realities in my life, I had a shocking realization that that voice inside me, the mean jerk that just perpetually bombards me with negative thoughts and horrific ideas that just make me sad or make me not want to make videos like this, that while it's part of me and while it's a part of me I don't like, the more I fought against it, the louder it got. So another thing I realized too is that it was almost always tied to something about me I don't like, right? It never has bad things to say about the parts of you that you do like. My background was my parents were wonderful, my family was wonderful, but the background that I grew up in was extremely judgmental. I literally could not get love the way that I wanted to, based on the religion I was in, without hating myself and saying that I'm worth absolutely nothing and that I'm garbage and the only reason I have value is from the outside. And I internalized that so deeply that I perpetually told myself that I'm not worth anything. I'm not worth listening to. I'm not worth singing. Like why on earth would anyone want to listen to that voice? Oh, God. Everyone told me otherwise, but that voice in my head was so strong I didn't believe them. So, going back to that voice and how it really came from like my childhood, the way I was raised, the way I taught myself to believe my whole life worked, I had a bit of a revelation. What if I spent some time with that voice and just listened to it? And instead of listening to what it had to say, try and figure out why it's saying that. And so if you have a voice going on in the back of your head, I would offer and suggest that maybe take some time to just sit and analyze it. Spend some time with it. Don't be judgmental back at it, right? Because if you sit in a room with someone who's mad and you get mad at them, nothing happens but an argument, and you both leave even more angry and pissed off than you were before. So spend some time with it. Try and figure out, why do I think this way? Why is this voice? Where is this coming from? Did a teacher tell me this? Did my upbringing teach me this? Did I pick this up from some jerk at the office that hurt me so badly that I now carry his voice around in my head? And you might be surprised to find what's up there. You may find something that's actually really important and really close to you that's just hurt. And that's certainly what I found. And it's almost like a little child. I don't know how many of you watching have kids, but if you have a kid, and you were a kid at one point, so if you don't have kids, imagine the time that you did this when you were little. You know when kids throw temper tantrums? And they scream at you and they tell you that they hate you and they wish you weren't your dad or your mom or blah, 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 blah. All these nasty things they say, they don't mean that. They don't mean that at all. They're throwing a hissy fit because they want attention. And more importantly, they don't just want attention. They want that attention because they don't feel secure. They want love and they don't know how to get it, but they know you're going to give them your undivided attention, even if it's mad, when they act out. So what if the voices in your head, what if you look at them like a little part of you that got hurt, like a little kid that needs some love? And what if you spend some time with it, and instead of saying, I hate you when you do this, voice, what if you try to recognize where that came from? And this is going to sound really, really odd to many of you. Some of you will know exactly where I'm coming from with this. If you don't, that's okay. This is new to me too. But what if you just accept that and say, you know what? I get it. I get it. I totally see why you think this way. In fact, I remember feeling this way when I was younger. Listening to those voices and giving them the chance, spending time with them, can really draw out some pain in your life that you may not have even known was in there. And spending time with that voice may actually force you to spend time with some pain that you've never admitted you had. And it's ridiculous how much healing came from me listening to my little inner voices, and how much I realized that I just needed to come to grips with my past and recognize that the people who hurt me, for the most part, the pastor was a horrific human being. Brilliant, manipulative, terrible, not a pleasant way that he acted or taught. And yet it's crazy because even saying that, I also recognize he totally believed that he was doing and preaching what he thought was best and what he thought was right, and he thought he had my best interests at heart. So I don't hate him, which is kind of weird to think about, actually, as I say that. Like, I hear the words coming out of my mouth, I'm like, wow, that's a weird place to be. Which tells me I've actually gotten over it. He doesn't control my reactions to him. I don't appreciate what he did. I think it's horrific, but at the same time, I know he thought he was doing it out of a place of love, and he thought he was going to help the most people by being this way and teaching these things. But you all didn't come to listen to me talk about the growth I went through. That's just an example of why I'm suggesting you do this. Once you learn to listen to that voice, and not listen to what it's saying, but listen to where it's coming from, all of a sudden, what it has to say doesn't matter to you anymore. In fact, you can turn the tables completely on that voice and go from hyper-judgmental to actually listening to it and being able to make yourself even better. For example, I was talking with someone a while back, just the other week, working through some things with them, and I realized I was saying every 3-4 words. And that little voice in my head came on and said, dude, you were saying I'm like, okay, well, I'll fix that. So then I started saying like totally, minus the Valley Girl accent. And the voice said, now you're saying like every 10 seconds. And instead of feeling judgmental and going like, oh my God, I sound so unprofessional, I was actually able to take that and say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Fixed that. Fixed this. Fixed the next thing. Oh, look, here's another thing. Fixed it. It's done. How about this? Gone. So you can actually take those voices inside your head when you show them some love, show them some attention, and you can actually befriend them, and then they work for you. Imagine, like being a professional singer like I am. Imagine if all that guilt and terror that my voice or that my thoughts were bringing out in my singing, which makes me sing horribly when I'm stressed, imagine being able to turn that on its head and perpetually be aware of like, oh, should adjust this right the second it happens. I can imagine it because I've done it. Take your profession. If you're a school teacher, my kids are going to make fun of me. Or, oh gosh, I sound so unprofessional right now. If you really want to sound professional, personally me, I connect with the people who are goofy, who do stupid things in front of a group because they're being real and authentic, which goes back to why I'm my whole YouTube page, why I exist, doing this stuff. So it's been a long video. I've kind of gone on a bunch of tangents. I think I've wrapped it around. Take some time. Try it out. It's absolutely terrifying. It will potentially lead to confronting some hurt and some pain that you may not even have known was there. You can do this on your own if you want. You can find a friend that you trust if you think they'll be helpful. I'm also here. You hit me up, drop me a line, and if you would like to work on this, let's do it. I'm absolutely non-judgmental, and I like to have a little bit of fun. So, and trust me, I've been through a lot of shit in my life. So, I'm not going to judge you for whatever you've done. If you want to talk with me, call me. I normally will charge for this kind of thing, but like, look, I live in the real world. Young me in undergrad could not have paid for this, or could only pay very little. We'll work it out. My goal is to help as many people as humanly possible while I'm here on this planet and while I'm able to do so. So, seriously, hit me up. If you think that like a group session, walking through this would be cool, let me know, because that's something that's really on the forefront of my mind. I would love to hear your ideas on how that would be helpful to you and what you might envision that looking like. So I'm going to wrap it up here. 12 and a half minutes. It's going to be 13 minutes by the time I finally shut my big mouth. Is the longest I've gone by 2 whole minutes. Oh my gosh. Give it a try. And if it works, let me know. If it's not working, but you're noticing some things, or you latch onto that negative voice and it just won't go away and now you're super attentive to it, call me or email me. Hit me up. Get in touch with me so I can help you. Or I can at least try, right? That's all we can do is try. But let's see what we can do. Take care.